When you do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. So if you go do your research, you find out that there's no paperwork on Big Meech. That's why you hadn't seen no paperwork. It's all hearsay. Somebody saying he told.
Charleston White just lit a fuse he might not be ready for. Floyd Mayweather sent him a sharp warning, straight up telling him to keep his mouth off the Big Meech situation or deal with the fallout. But Charleston ain't backing down. He's doubling down, saying his voice is his weapon and nobody's gonna silence him, not even Mayweather, fresh out of prison. Charleston has been making waves with back-to-back interviews, and he wasted no time diving into the mess between 50 Cent and Big Meech. Big Meech himself has tried to push back on those street whispers, stressing there's never been hard evidence of him being tied up with law enforcement. Still, Charleston publicly backed him, standing firm with a man many are too scared to even speak on. 50 Cent wasn't having it. He claims he's got every reason to go at Big Meech and Lil Meech for cozying up with folks he's labeled as longtime enemies. To 50, loyalty isn't just a word, it's war. And with Charleston poking his head into this storm, it's only making the fire burn hotter.
He told. Or somebody saying he used Tammy Cowens to set up Cuffy. Well, when you do your research and you look at the court documents that's on Big Meech, you see that Tammy Cowens took the stand and said that she did this on her own accord without Big Meech's knowledge.
Now here's where it gets wild. Floyd Mayweather stepped into the chaos. Reports say Floyd didn't take Charleston's comments lightly at all. Word in the streets is he feels disrespected, and he's not brushing this one off. If Charleston and Floyd end up crossing paths, don't expect small talk, expect fireworks. So the question becomes, is Floyd really defending Big Meech's name out of loyalty, or is this beef tied to some hidden agenda? Could it even be an excuse to drag Charleston's reputation through the mud? Meanwhile, 50 Cent shows no signs of slowing down. He's locked in and ready to settle old scores. The drama is snowballing fast, pulling in heavyweights left and right. First Big Meech, then Lil Meech, then 50, and now Floyd Mayweather. It feels like the stage is being set for something explosive, and this show is only in the first act.
Your son up, and we bring you back to life. Prior to the BMF series, Big Meech was buried alive. Wasn't nobody saying his name. Jeezy wasn't really shouting him out no more. Was buried alive. So 50 bring life back to him.
Charleston's latest sit-down peeled back even more layers, dropping shocking claims about the rift between 50 Cent, Big Meech, and Lil Meech. He flat out said while plenty of people love to throw the informant label at Big Meech, there's never been real proof to stick it to him. But here's the twist. 50's rage goes deeper than rumors. He connects it all back to his own legal troubles, where certain enemies were named directly in cases tied to him. For 50, betrayal is betrayal, paperwork or not. And now, with Floyd Mayweather's voice added to this chaotic mix, the tension is hitting a breaking point. Charleston's sharp tongue has landed him in plenty of battles before, but this time he's up against one of the richest, most powerful fighters in the game. One wrong move could flip everything upside down. This saga is spiraling into dangerous territory. Reputations, alliances, and empires are all on the line.
You know what's crazy? People are always in my business worried about what I'm doing. What Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got. Just know, I'm gonna stay in my lane, I ain't gonna fuck with nobody, and I don't want nobody to fuck with me.
And the scariest part, we're still just scratching the surface. With these giants circling each other, it's only a matter of time before the first punch, literal or metaphorical, gets thrown. Charleston White came swinging back, firing shots at anybody accusing Big Meech of using Tammy Cowan to line up Cuffy and others. He snapped on critics, telling them flat out, get your facts straight, before spreading wild lies. According to Charleston, these baseless rumors spread like wildfire and do nothing but stir up pointless chaos. But at the same time, he wasn't holding back his jokes, mocking both Big Meech and Lil Meech while standing firm right beside 50 Cent. Charleston bragged that he's one of the very few willing to ride openly with 50, and because of that, he claims he's earned the right to speak his truth loud and clear. He even pointed out that Rick Ross, who later aligned himself with Big Meech, was nowhere to be seen back when Meech was sitting in prison and actually needed real help. Meanwhile, 50 wasn't just showing love, He was investing heavy. Charleston reminded everyone that it was 50 who funded Lil Meech's acting classes and personally secured him the lead role in the hit BMF series.
Put his son in a position, turn his son into a millionaire, and he actually turned out to be a pretty good actor. You come home, I'm gonna put you in a better position for you to go fuck Rick Ross. That's a slap in the face.
That wasn't just Hollywood hype. It turned into millions of dollars for Lil Meech and practically handed him a long-term career on a silver platter. So from Charleston's perspective, it's no wonder 50 feels betrayed. He poured time, money, and energy into building Lil Meech up, only to watch both father and son cozy up with his biggest rivals. And Charleston didn't let them off the hook either. He straight up said both Big Meech and Lil Meech got to deal with the fallout from those choices. He called Lil Meech's decision to link with Rick Ross a blatant betrayal and ripped into Big Meech for later leaning on Ross for financial help. Charleston slammed that move as unnecessary, saying if Lil Meech had managed the wealth 50 Cent already gave him with more sense, then his father wouldn't have needed outside money in the first place. Plenty of people, Charleston claimed, believe smarter money moves could have prevented this whole embarrassing mess. And while all this drama was boiling over, 50 Cent tried to reach out to Big Meech directly. His words came out heated but heartfelt, almost like a man talking to family. Now you're mad at me when I would literally take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe you're treating me like the enemy when all I've ever shown you is loyalty. I'm fighting my own battles, yet I never switched up on you. That message only showed how deep the betrayal cut. For 50, this wasn't just business beef, it was personal. And then came the twist that made things even worse. Big Meech had already been quietly aligning himself with Rick Ross behind the scenes. The truth came crashing out when Lil Meech himself admitted, "Forget Ross, but he gave my dad some money so he could pay his bills until our next season started." That bombshell turned the feud nuclear. It widened the gap between 50, Big Meech, and their growing circle of rivals. Now, with Floyd Mayweather stepping into the picture and Charleston White stirring the pot louder than ever, the feud is turning into a circus of betrayals, alliances, and heavy hitters all ready to clash. This whole mess has spun way out of control, turning uglier than anyone could have guessed. Even 50 Cent himself admitted his frustration, saying, "This whole internet thing is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life, that's raw emotion straight from the source." Meanwhile, Lil Meech tried to play peacemaker, claiming he just wanted to squash it. But instead of forgiving and moving on, 50 hit the nuclear button. He pulled the plug on the BMF series. That move was earth-shaking. BMF wasn't just another show, it was a cultural phenomenon and the lifeline for Lil Meech's career. With one decision, 50 cut off Lil Meech's biggest paycheck and left fans split down the middle. Some swore Lil Meech's apology came from the heart, while others said he crossed the line way too far by openly disrespecting his own father. And once that line is crossed, there's no going back. Even outside voices had to weigh in. Boozy, known for never holding back, dropped his own blunt take, calling the situation a straight-up catastrophe. Whether people side with 50 or the Meech family, one thing is crystal clear. This feud is no longer just a family squabble. It's a full-on war spilling over into the culture. Let's not forget, it was 50 Cent who put Lil Meech on the map. He gave him his first real shot, bankrolled his acting lessons, and put him in position to star in a hit series that changed his life. Without that push, Lil Meech wouldn't be anywhere near the spotlight he's enjoying now. But with the show gone, his financial future is dangling by a thread. Now he's scrambling behind the scenes to find new opportunities, just to keep himself afloat. Reports say both Big Meech and Lil Meech tried to mend fences quietly, even tossing out the idea of cutting some kind of deal to keep the show alive. But their actions told a different story. Instead of showing loyalty to 50, they doubled down and started cozying up with the very people he sees as enemies. The proof? Lil Meech popping up again and again with Floyd Mayweather. Photos, videos, appearances, it's all there. For weeks, both father and son have been posting pics with Floyd and Rick Ross like they're part of some brotherhood. And they didn't stop at subtle hints. Lil Meech went as far as sharing snapshots from a night out at Miami's Lucky Strike bowling alley, chilling and laughing with Floyd and Ross. Then came the caption that sent the internet buzzing, "Real power," which fans instantly took as a shot at 50 himself. The timing, the smiles, the captions, the constant appearances, none of it looked random. It looked deliberate, almost like they wanted the world to know they were siding with 50's biggest rivals. And Lil Meech didn't let up. He later dropped another photo showing himself, his father, and Floyd Mayweather in a low-key, undisclosed spot, hammering in the message that their loyalty had shifted away from 50. And to top it all off, he posted a video courtside at a Lakers game with Floyd, grinning like life was sweet and as if no feud even existed. 50 Cent never lets anybody forget Rick Ross's past. At every turn, he reminds the world that Ross once wore a correctional officer's badge, branding him Officer Ricky like a permanent scar. Their feud goes way back, blowing up after Ross randomly accused 50 of giving him a dirty look at an award show. What should have been nothing turned into one of rap's nastiest rivalries ever. Diss tracks flying, venom-filled interviews, insults stacked on insults. It was war with no off button. By 2015, the beef was still red hot. In a savage sit-down with Tim Westwood, 50 flat out called Ross a fraud, questioning the very legitimacy of his whole career. And Ross didn't hold back either. He came swinging, portraying 50 as nothing but a washed-up hater stuck in the past. To Ross, 50 wasn't a heavyweight anymore, just another bitter rival to brush off. Now rap beefs are no stranger to the culture. Hip-hop lives and breathes competition. But what still stuns people is the venom between 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather. Unlike the 50 versus Rick Ross feud, which fans see mostly as business-driven, the fallout with Floyd cut much deeper. It was personal, almost family-level betrayal. Think about it. There was a time when 50 and Floyd were inseparable. They rolled like brothers, popping bottles in Hollywood clubs, hitting up major sporting events together, and even landing a joint XXL magazine cover like a power duo. Their bond looked untouchable until it all came crashing down in 2012. That year, Floyd got locked up, and before heading inside, he handed 50 the keys to his empire, TMT and Mayweather Promotions. At first, 50 thought he was doing his closest friend a solid, stepping in to protect the bag, but the reality smacked him quick. The companies weren't even legally registered. Everything was in shambles. So what did 50 do? He rebuilt it all from scratch. Paperwork, structure, money. He poured more than $1 million of his own cash into stabilizing the empire. By the time Floyd walked free, the businesses were standing tall, fully operational, and ready to make money hand over fist, all thanks to 50's hustle. But instead of showing gratitude, Floyd threw shade the second he got out. No reimbursement, no acknowledgement, no respect. Instead, he accused 50 of trying to steal his empire while he was locked down. That flip turned a brotherhood into one of the ugliest celebrity feuds the game has ever seen. What started as trust turned into betrayal, and that betrayal lit a fire that still hasn't cooled off. To this day, the bitterness between 50 and Floyd runs deep, shaping every move they make when their names cross paths. What once looked like an unbreakable friendship has become one of the most toxic rivalries in entertainment history, and it shows no signs of slowing down. The irony in all this cuts deep. While members of Floyd Mayweather's own camp were busy launching Get Floyd Back in the Pocket campaigns to patch up his financial image, it was actually 50 Cent working behind the curtain, putting in the grind to stabilize Floyd's business. Crazy enough, the situation looked eerily similar to when Rick Ross stepped in with a financial lifeline for Big Meech. But instead of gratitude, Floyd flipped the script. He turned his back on 50 completely. What started as a brotherhood collapsed into one of the nastiest rivalries pop culture has ever seen. A feud so toxic that fans still argue to this day about where the downfall really began. And the wildest part? The one man who stepped in to save Floyd's empire, 50 Cent, ended up painted as the villain, while whispers circled that Floyd's own camp was mishandling money behind his back. Whether it was a twisted misunderstanding or a deliberate play, one fact stood tall. Floyd cut 50 out on purpose, snatching back full control of his empire and leaving their once strong friendship in ruins. And for 50, that was unforgivable. Loyalty means everything to him, so when Floyd started spreading false rumors about him, 50 wasn't about to sit quiet. He fought back, hard, determined to expose the truth. But the harder he pushed, the more the public saw him as the enemy. Floyd, being Floyd, didn't back down an inch. Instead, he cranked the feud up another notch, dismissing 50 as nothing more than a boxing groupie with a washed-up rap career. For a brief moment, the world thought the two had patched things up. They even claimed reconciliation in interviews. But that peace didn't last long. Almost overnight, the insults went nuclear, crossing lines nobody expected. Floyd started mocking 50's strained relationship with his son Marquise, hitting him where it hurt most. 50 clapped back with fire of his own, accusing Floyd of betraying close friends and even sleeping with their partners. From there, the exchanges spiraled into some of the ugliest claims either man had ever thrown out in public. Even Boozy jumped in, blasting Floyd for dragging Lil Meech into the feud. Floyd immediately snapped back, insisting he had done more for Meech than anyone else ever had, refusing to let the criticism stick. But that wasn't the end. 50 pushed things even further with a shocking accusation that left fans speechless. He linked Floyd's name to the tragic murder-suicide of their friend Earl Hayes and his wife Stephanie Mosley. The claim sent shockwaves through the culture. Nobody saw that one coming. And 50 still wasn't done. He branded Floyd a snake, calling out petty moments like when Floyd laughed at one of Marquise's tweets, a move 50 said exposed Floyd's true colors for the world to see. What was once a brotherhood built on loyalty and shared wins had now mutated into a public blood sport. Every insult, every accusation sharper than the last. And the worst part? The feud still hasn't reached its peak. 50 Cent didn't hold back when reminding the public just how many times he stepped up for Lil Meech. He laid it out plain, paying for therapy, covering living expenses, even giving financial guidance when nobody else would. If he's in trouble, I'm the first call. I've saved him more times than I can count, 50 explained. But after reflecting, he admitted the real crack in his friendship with Floyd Mayweather wasn't just about money, it came from Mimi. According to 50, Mimi fed Floyd information that should have never left the circle, exposing personal details and undermining his reputation in the process. To him, that betrayal cut just as deep as Floyd's refusal to pay him back. While Floyd flashes stacks and brags about how much cash he can burn in a single night, most people don't realize 50 once had to step in and quietly cover the cost of Mimi's rehab. Even actor Russell Hornsby recalled seeing that drama firsthand, backing up 50's claims. 50 admitted, "Yeah, I did things in the past that I thought were okay, but I told Mimi straight, stop burning through your fortune." He wasn't just throwing money around, he was trying to keep people afloat. And then came another headache. One of his crew, Ian, pulled him aside with a disturbing story from set. A younger actor was reportedly throwing up during a weapons test, all while high off whippets he had stashed in his truck. 50 had to step in once again, cleaning up another mess he didn't even create. And after putting his money, energy, and name into these people, all he asked for was loyalty in return. Instead, Big Meech and Lil Meech started mocking him in public. The disrespect cut deep, especially after all he had invested in their futures. And when 50 asked, "What the hell are whippets?" he found out the truth. People were inhaling the gas from whipped cream canisters to chase a dangerous high. To him, it was just another example of how reckless things had gotten around him. Meanwhile, Charleston White stirred the pot further, pointing out that Big Meech only made the situation worse by posting videos of himself kicking it with Rick Ross. The move was meant to quiet snitch rumors, but instead, it added gasoline to the feud. And Floyd Mayweather, fully aware of how deep the bad blood already ran between 50 and Big Meech, seemed to use those alliances as leverage. By standing side by side with Ross and the Meech family, Floyd wasn't just showing support, he was drawing battle lines. Insiders even claimed Floyd might be working behind the scenes to have Charleston White thrown back in jail, allegedly leaning on government ties to make it happen. Whether those whispers are fact or fiction is still unclear, but the rumors are loud enough to make people wonder what's really happening behind closed doors. So the real question becomes, does Floyd truly stand with Big Meech and Lil Meech out of genuine loyalty, or are they just pawns in his never-ending war with 50 Cent? Could this feud ever find closure, or has it already crossed the point of no return? Some bridges can't be rebuilt once they burn, and right now it feels like the flames are higher than ever. This story is spinning faster, messier, and darker than anyone imagined. And trust, the next twist could be even wilder than what we've already seen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.